Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Syberia II on Nintendo Switch. Oh, you gotta play all the way through this before part 3 comes out. Okay, where were we? Find and help Hans. Okay, let's talk to Oscar. I think we're at the point now where we're just got...
How's it going?
Your brother's a good-for-nothing imbecile, Anna. You hear me? A feeble idiot.
How's it going?
Siberia.
How's it going?
Siberia.
Good.
It's a little chilly to be taking a shower. Thanks all the same.
That's it, we got coal in there. It's the first major puzzle.
Oscar?
Are you still here, Kate Walker? Mr. Voralberg needs you terribly. Please do not procrastinate.
Oscar, is this the first time that Mr. Voralberg has had an illness like this?
I don't know Mr. Voralberg any more than you do, Kate Walker. I am only an automaton after all. A machine born of creative genius. The feeling of concern I feel for my creator at this precise moment is merely the result of a wheelwork combination designed to produce just this effect.
I don't like it when you talk like that, Oscar. Oscar, I should go try and get help in this town.
Sadly, Kate Walker, there is clearly no doctor here.
There must be someone. What do people do here when they're sick? Hans isn't feeling so great, Oscar. You've got to help me treat him.
I do not have sufficient knowledge of human mechanics. The human body presents a somewhat complex system, Kate Walker.
Okay. Of course I understand. I'll try to find someone competent.
Please do hurry, Kate Walker. Hans Voralberg seems to be running out of steam.
As soon as I find help, I'll come back, Oscar. Right. I'm going to look for help.
Yes, do hurry up, Kate Walker.
I don't need to do that again.
Okay, well...
Colonel, please, can you help me?
What can I do for you, Miss Walker?
Would you have something to treat a fever? My friend is sick.
I'm sorry. I sold my last pills last week.
Is there a doctor around here, or a pharmacy or something?
Around these parts? That would surprise me. They say the monks up there can patch a man up. At least people around here go up there sometimes.
Thanks for all your help, Colonel.
The pleasure is all mine, Miss Walker.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're a figment of my imagination, apparently. Serving a purpose. Just constantly putting that poster up.
Malka?
Yes, Kate?
My friend Hans is very sick. He needs taking care of.
Oh, otherwise he's going to die, isn't he? Like Mama.
I don't know. He wants to get to the end of his journey so badly.
Sometimes that is not enough, Kate.
Tell me, do you know anyone who could help heal my friend Hans?
Zirkos has special tonics in his bar.
No, I need a real doctor.
Then you'll have to go to the monastery.
I suppose there are monks at the monastery.
That's right. Monks with big black robes. They're really creepy.
There's nothing to be afraid of. As monks, they must be good men. And you tell me they can treat Hans?
The patriarch is a stern old man. He won't treat your friend if you don't follow the monastery rules.
How do you know that, Malka?
He wouldn't look after Mama straight away because of the rules. That's why she's dead.
I'm sorry, Malka. Thank you for your help.
Come back and see me. I like you, Kate.
Howdy, Mr. Sirkos.
Good day to you, Miss Walker. How's our friend Hans Voralberg coming along?
Not great news.
Ah, well, if I can be of service, whatever you require, don't hesitate to shout.
Mr. Sirkos, I'm worried about Hans's health.
Dang, it's all my fault. Never should have asked him to do me that favor.
What do you mean, favor?
No major work or anything, just to get my wind-up Broncos bucking again.
Oh, don't blame yourself. Hans was already ill before he came to see you. You've got nothing to do with it. Mr. Sirkos, you wouldn't know someone who could treat Hans Voralberg, would you?
Oh, not many pill pushers around here. Guess there's always the monks.
The monks, you say?
People around here say the patriarch of the monastery has healing powers. They also say he's a dingaling, a bit of a fanatic, if you know what I mean.
Well, whatever. I have no choice. Do the monks have a telephone?
They don't even have electricity. You'll have to go up there in person, Miss Walker. Then try to convince them to take care of your friend.
Tell me, Mr. Sirkos. It was you who took in that little girl Malka into your care, wasn't it?
I just couldn't bear to leave a little girl like that.
What happened to her mother?
Oh, a gypsy woman fleeing God knows what monkey business. She got here half dead and crazed with fever.
The monks helped her, isn't that right?
You could say that. When they stopped being high and mighty, they took her up to their monastery for treatment. But it was far too late for the poor girl. Them old crows make up their own rules. They'd leave a man to rot rather than get their habits dirty. I don't like 'em one bit, Miss Walker.
What rules are you talking about?
It's a phony old custom. To decide whether a dying man is actually dying at all, the patriarch of the monastery looks at the patient's face before deciding yay or nay.
But how? I don't understand.
They kind of make this print of the face on a piece of cloth, you know, like the shroud of Jesus in the Bible.
I must confess I don't really understand this shroud story.
You'll see, just outside the village, the monks have put this kind of iron box. A box containing a pile of linen sheets. When you put one of these sheets over the face of the sick man, it has the curious property of soaking up all his sweat and juices. So effective it is that all the features of his face can be seen on the cloth.
And so the old patriarch looks to this print to form his diagnosis?
At least what he can judge is whether that face on the shroud is sick enough to get dragged up those rocks to the monastery and be treated by him.
I suppose anybody can take a cloth from the crate if he needs it?
You suppose wrong, Miss Walker. One person has charge of the distribution of the said shrouds, and that's Malka. She sure is proud of her position. The Patriarch himself gave her the responsibility, and that kid ain't giving it up for no man, believe me.
Mr. Sirkos, could you please introduce me to the Patriarch of the monastery?
Want my opinion? Best stay right away.
Oh, why's that?
Have you ever heard a showman and a priest sing a duet together? They think my cabaret is a den of debauchery, and that I'm a funky old miscreant luring lambs from the altar.
Really, Mr. Sirkos, we're not in the 19th century anymore.
But we're not too far here, Miss Walker. Believe me, best I don't put my finger in that pie.
How do you get up to the monastery?
When you go out of here, turn right. You can't miss it.
Thanks a lot. I've got to go now.
Go quickly, Miss Walker, and good luck.
Mighty kind, Mr. Sirkos.
I do like the fact that when you can't answer, or you can't have any more possible answers, that it just takes them all away. Lets you know if you need to keep asking somebody questions. Whereas the original game, even answers that would give you the same answers, they would stay, and you just had to figure out which ones you didn't need to ask anymore.
Tell me.
How is it going?
Since he was really young, Hans has dreamed of a land called Siberia.
Siberia doesn't exist. It's just a story they tell kids to make them sleep. And I'm no kid anymore.
I believe the story, though, Malka.
So, you're going to have to help your friend, Kate.
He told me why they couldn't treat her at the monastery.
Yes, Kate.
Sometimes, people get too sick and there's nothing that can be done.
Is your friend too sick?
I hope he isn't.
I'm going to help you, Kate.
Can you help me, Malka?
Only if your friend is a little bit sick. Not too much, or you'll be sad.
We'll see. Let's give it a try, Like for your mother, with the monks.
On the road to the monastery, there's a kind of box with sheets. The monks call them shrouds. I'm going to give you a token so you can get one. It's very important, Kate Walker.
Then what do I do with this shroud?
Take it and lay it over your friend's face.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Thank you for your help.
Come back and see me. I like you, Kate.
Yes, thank you for your token help. Ah!
It's really a bit too cold. Dressed like this, I'd better not hang around too much outside.
Okay. Do I have anything for that? Fish candy. I don't think that's gonna keep me warm. At least not enough parts of me that it will be warm for long. Maybe they have something at the store I can buy. I've triggered enough conversations, I think. Dang it. Where are my tank controls when I need them?
Colonel, please, can you help me?
What can I do for you, Miss Walker?
Our route is still long and my friend is suffering. I don't know what to do.
Siberia is hellish cold at this time of year, Miss Walker. And journeys take an age. Your friend isn't in the prime of youth anymore.
Thanks for all your help, Colonel.
The pleasure is all mine, Miss Walker.
Ah, that's all you got from me? Okay, fine. Go get that shroud. It's not like there are a lot of location choices. Well, at least so far. Those.
It's really a bit too cold. I'll be needing some warm clothes.
Ah. Just had to trigger the conversation. Well, hopefully I don't suffocate him. That'd be kind of a quick journey. Okay, warm clothes.
Colonel, please, can you help me?
What can I do for you, Miss Walker?
I was told the Patriarch of the monastery can diagnose illness if he's shown a cotton sheet marked with the feverish face of the patient. What do you think about that, Colonel?
Here in Mother Russia, Katyushka, there are stranger tales to be told.
I want to go up to the monastery, but it's so cold outside. Would you have some warm clothes to loan me?
Maybe so. I might find what you want up in the attic. I'll get the ladder out.
I'll pay you for what I use, of course.
Don't you worry, Katyushka. You're a true ray of sunshine in this dusty old shop. And we don't see sunshine here every day.
Don't show me your moon if I'm a sunshine.
You'll find something that'll fit you in the attic, I'm sure. There you go, miss. I can't climb up there anymore.
Now, where to find someplace appropriate to slip into this? At last. A bit of privacy, for once. Toasty. And not unelegant, even.
Was he a monkey priest?
Excuse me. I'm sorry to disturb you, sir?
Blessed art thou, my sister. What can I do for you?
My name is Kate Walker, and my train is currently at the station in Romansburg.
Oh, Romansburg. Pretty town, but not the kind of town for pretty strangers. Pretty solitary strangers.
I don't intend to hang around long, brother. I'm traveling with an old man, Hans Voralberg, and...
Voralberg? Did you say Voralberg, my sister?
You know him?
No, but I know someone else. Can you hear? It is the sweet song of the Merula alba. If only I could catch a glimpse, such a rare, pretty bird. Few are they who say in truth they have spied her beauty. It is probably seeking some other Merula alba.
My friend is very ill, you know.
It is God's will! God's will! What can I do, my sister? What can I do?
Maybe you could visit him at his bedside.
Oh, never, my sister, never. I would incur the wrath of our Lord and Patriarch.
I'm looking for someone with a medical background. Someone who can tend to the sick.
Our Patriarch is a remarkable doctor, my sister. He cures bodies as well as souls.
You couldn't help me, could you, please?
I am but a simple monk. You have to go see our Patriarch yonder, in the monastery.
You say that I could find someone to help me. Up there, at the monastery.
Yes! At the monastery, oh yes!
I rang at the monastery, but there was no reply. Maybe they don't want to let me in. Can you tell me, is there another way in?
There is no other way, my sister.
Why won't they let me into the monastery?
Dura lex, sed lex.
I'm sorry?
The law is hard, but it is the law, my sister.
What law?
I don't like questions, my sister. The law is the law is the law.
You live in the monastery, I suppose.
That is right, my sister.
Are there many of you up there?
A few old monks. Few are those who heed the calling in this age.
Tell me, what have we got to do to get into the monastery?
You must pull the rope that rings the bell, my sister, but not too hard, or you will scare the birds. Don't scare them. A monk will show you in.
Thank you. What is a marula alba?
A rare bird. It can never be seen, as it is as white as snow. They say that when a man sees it, his mind clears, and his intelligence grows and grows.
Well, you need it, buddy.
There seem to be a lot of birds around here.
Yes, yes, but the only one that interests me is the Merula alba.
I must absolutely find a doctor for my friend.
I just do the laundry, my sister, that is all. Down here, there are some doctors, and others do the laundry. You are going to make me late. Do you hear? It is the Merula alba again.
Why won't you help me?
I must finish my chores before evensong, my sister.
I rang the bell, but the monk at the door doesn't seem to want to show me in.
There are rules. Rules and traditions to respect here. Respect.
What rules? What traditions?
That some people are less worthy than others.
Okay, so how does that monk up there make an opinion about my worthiness by just looking at me?
It is not a question to ask, my sister.
You're telling me that I'm not worthy to enter your monastery?
I didn't say. No. I just wash dirty laundry, that's all.
Yes, you did say that. You implied I wasn't worthy.
Femina inconcessus.
I don't understand Latin.
Latin, like the birds. Erythacus rubecula, picus viridis, merula alba.
You speak Latin, then?
Oh, monk's Latin. Pigeon Latin.
You seem to know the Latin names of birds.
Pretty birds. Pretty birds.
Picus viridis?
Woodpecker.
How about Erythacus rubecula?
Robin red breast.
And Merula alba?
White raven, my sister.
Femina inconcessus?
Women. Forbidden. No.
Right. I get it. Because I'm a woman, I'm forbidden access to the monastery. Now I understand.
That's the rule, sister. I can't change the rules.
Of course, brother. Women are the source of all sin. Isn't that so? I'm going now. I'll be back soon.
What?
Well, he's a whole load of help, huh? If you can't help a girl out, what good are you?
Oscar?
Are you still here, Kate Walker? Mr. Voralberg needs you terribly. Please do not procrastinate.
If we go now, Oscar, we're sure to find someone who can help us on the way.
Nothing of the sort, Kate Walker. The rest of our journey is long and perilous. What will we do if we encounter no help along the way?
I guess you're right. Oscar, I know where to get help for Mr. Voralberg.
Where, Kate Walker?
At the monastery, up there, at the top of that rocky crag.
So, Kate Walker? What are you waiting for? Why are you still here?
Oscar,
We have already wasted enough time, Kate Walker. I will tend to Mr. Voralberg during your absence.
I'm going to the monastery to seek help, Oscar.
Oh, please, Kate Walker, do be quick.
Oscar, I admit that gloomy monastery does give me the creeps. Do you think you could go with me? I'd feel much better.
And Mr. Voralberg, who will take care of him? Did you think of that, Kate Walker?
Yeah, of course. See you later, Oscar. Oscar, I'm going into town to look for help.
Okay, I'll wait for you, Kate Walker.
I need your help.
Kate Walker, I haven't a minute to lend you. I must remain entirely at Hans Voralberg's disposal. He really is doing very poorly. I am sorry.
Right. I'm going to look for help.
Yes, do hurry up, Kate Walker.
Yeah, the Colonel can say something, huh?
Colonel Emiliov?
Is everything as you would like it, Miss Walker?
Oh, no.
Colonel, you don't have one of those whistles for making bird noises among your many treasures here, do you?
A bird call? Why, I sell them by the truckload during the hunting season. I've got a whole collection of them. I think I've got just what you need somewhere. Aha!
Gold, silver, and black.
From what I've heard, Colonel, the patriarch of the monastery is some kind of healer.
I'm just an old Cossack. And to me there's only one real remedy for everything. A good shot of vodka.
And that'd finish off poor Hans for sure. Thanks for all your help, Colonel.
The pleasure is all mine, Miss Walker.
Okay, looking for some silver bird.
Can you hear? Can you hear? The Merula Alba. It is calling to me. Calling to me.
Crazy bastard. Oh, it's just gonna change right there? Okay. You can't really hide your chest there, but okay. Can I not grab that in my robe? that, stupid man. Ah.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, they're all the silent type. Matches? Something. I guess not being able to run. I think they would notice that, you know, one of the monks just all of a sudden started walking real sexy.
Hello? Anybody there? Excuse me.
What? A woman? Women are expressly prohibited. What the devil are you doing here, woman?
My name's Kate Walker. I'm a lawyer from New York. Excuse me, but I absolutely must speak to you, and your monks wouldn't let me in.
Miss Walker, your female presence in this dwelling of monastic retreat is unwelcome. It is very troubling. Please leave quickly.
Please forgive my slightly cavalier methods to get to see you, Father, but my cause is just, I assure you.
I have no need of assurance, my girl. Remember, you are here beneath the gaze of the Almighty.
I have a friend who is really sick. In the village, I was told that...
We must all brave the ordeals the Lord sends us, my child.
My friend is named Hans Voralberg. He has devoted his life to making fantastic mechanical machines. His automatons soothed the harsh daily labor of the people of his day, and amused them, entertained them. He's a genius inventor, you know.
An inventor, you say? The inspiration of such people is often cowed to humility before the marvels of God's own creation.
I have come to ask the assistance of the priest healer in the monastery. My friend is very unwell, and very old.
Sometimes a body weary of life refuses treatment. That is why we here tend to the soul. From what ailment is your friend suffering?
A high fever. It started with a kind of fit. He fell...
Sometimes we have to just accept the inevitable, my child, and resign ourselves to the call of time.
You don't understand. Maybe Hans is old and frail, but he has but one desire: to continue his journey.
We have to learn how to meet our fate, my child. This is God's will.
My friend needs treatment. You are the only one for miles around who can give him the care he needs.
I need a sign from the Almighty, or else I can do nothing for your friend. I am sorry, Miss Walker.
I really need your help, Father. You're our only hope.
My girl, I attend only to extreme cases, grave illness, and madness.
But this is an extreme case, Father.
There is a rule, Miss Walker. You must respect it. Bring me the imprint of your friend's suffering.
I know what you were telling me. I brought the shroud.
Show me, my child. Right. We will go search for your friend.
It's our man. He's got something.
Canton? I can barely hear you. What news have you got?
I talked to the hotel guys, Mr. Martin. She checked out of Arrowbad last week. Headed off with Hans Voralberg.
How is she?
Seems her health is fine, Mr. Martin, but,
What?
her behavior seems...
Don't beat about the bush, Canton, please.
Look, Mr. Martin, it's like this. I'm afraid that Miss Walker has been acting, how do you say, differently.
That's a bad compression. Guess the original source wasn't in very high resolution.
Did you sleep well, my child?
Yes, thank you. How is Hans?
Alas, you brought him to us so late, my child. I fear we cannot do much. We are going to concentrate on tending to his soul.
What? What did you say?
The man is worn and old. His final hour is upon him.
But that's impossible.
Your friend is dying. You must believe me, my child.
Please take care of Hans, father, please.
Torment yourself no longer, my girl. I will tend to the poor soul.
Can I see him?
No. I do not advise it. Deranged minds are often too addled by evil, and you could become contaminated by its sly malevolence.
Look, contagion doesn't bother me. I've got to talk with him, you understand?
The rules, Miss Walker. Remember the rules. No one talks to the sick.
I just can't abandon Hans like that. I must see him immediately, you hear?
Okay. So be it. Your friend is in the last chamber at the end of the corridor. I beseech thee, my girl, pay no heed to the imprecations of a sick, delirious, dying man. I will wait for you in the chapel when everything is over. For the formalities, you understand.
Well, you're already digging his grave. What a jerk.
What's he digging for? This casket gives me the creeps. It's kind of steep. But with the sled, I could slide down the slope.
Something, something, something.
What on earth is that? What on earth is that?
Down there. guess I have to do this one later. Don't have the clues needed to give me the right answer. Won't let me exit the screen either. It's like, once you get into this puzzle, you're stuck here. Okay, any more clues?
Hans? Hans, can you hear me?
Kate, where are we?
Don't you worry. You're in very good hands. We cannot carry on our journey in these conditions, Hans. You are ill. You have to be cared for.
I must go, Kate Walker.
I said I'd keep you company until we reach Siberia. I brought you here to be treated.
We don't have the time, Kate. We've got to go to Syberia, Kate Walker.
Calm down, Hans, please.
No.
Hans, we're at the monastery. Do you remember?
In Valadilen, it is 7:15 p.m. Father is always punctual. He never stays at home. He always goes to the factory. He locks himself in his office and...
No, Hans. Valadilen is where you were born. Here, we're in Romansburg. Valadilen is miles away. We're going to take care of you.
Alexei. Find Alexei Tukyanov.
Alexei Tukyanov?
Alexei. He has lived with the Yukols. He can cure me.
Who is Alexei?
An old monk. A friend. He knows about Yukol medicine.
Why do you want me to find this monk, Alexei?
Alexei... he can treat me.
Hans, do try to be reasonable. Nobody here can treat you better than the old patriarch.
Alexei knows Yukol medicine. The old patriarch is an ass.
So you really think this monk can cure you?
Alexei can cure like the shaman. Shaman are the right doctors for me.
It seems you rate the Yukels for their medicine.
Yukel shaman medicine is very strong.
Hans, all that shaman malarkey is nonsense. You know that.
The Yukels know a lot of things, Kate Walker. A lot of things.
I'll be back soon.
Okay, Kate.
Ah, well, these guys can't keep that plant alive. I don't know if I really trust them with anything else.
Cheese and dry bread. Yummy. If that's going to work.
Some stuff there. Okay.
You like to eavesdrop.
Eavesdrop? No, I clean and clean, that's all.
I've just spoken to Hans.
And what news do you bring, my sister?
He spoke to me of one of your brothers, named Alexei.
Ah, tempus edax rerum. Brother Alexei is not of this world, my sister.
So you don't know this Alexei, do you?
No, no. Omnis homo mendax.
Come on, you must know where Alexei is.
Mors ultima ratio.
Everybody's such a cryptic jerk in this game, I swear. Sister, Alexei was a man of God and my friend. He lived away from the monastery for many years amongst the strange occult people and the were divine to them. Monk, far from it, to God. Why would you give me this when there's stuff on it? Okay, there's a coin on there. Ah, there we go. Alexei was a man of God and my friend. He lived away from the monastery for many years amongst the strange local people and their stories of the great mammoths of old that were divine to them. I am no wise monk. Far from it, but I know I have prayed to God long enough to understand that he takes many different forms in the imaginations of man. This might help you. The key is in the light of the mammoth's eye. Mm-hmm. Is that guy's grave over there?
What on earth is that?
Okay, well. Yeah. Well, obviously that wasn't it. Hmm. Okay. What did I open it up exactly? What and where? Oh, another puzzle. All right. on it, I guess. Seems like it should go there or something. Closes completely. Uh-huh. It seems to work, but there's no place for me to click on anything. Darn that scene switching. Stop it! No! There we go. What's it out here? No, definitely not. One of these chandeliers. put it in there, huh? No, still not good enough. The order is important, I see. I can click on the thing. Alexei Tendukhanov, Notes and Sketches from the Frozen North. April 15th, 1947. I loaded my bags and provisions onto a sled pulled by several sturdy, healthy beasts and left the Ronsberg Monastery, heading northwards in search of the mysterious peoples inhabiting the vast, desolate wastes of the Siberian tundra. My superiors had conferred on me the mission of evangelizing these pagan tribes from their heathen shamanistic beliefs. I traveled under an assumed identity, that of a lowly trapper. I had to be wary of the agents of the state and of the military for whom any religious activity is suspect. They, for their part, traveled the length and breadth of the eastern Siberian, trying to convince the villagers of the debatable benefits of collectivism. It took me several weeks to accustom myself to the unfamiliar harnesses. I found no dogs in Romelsburg and had to make do with yokis purchased from a hunter. The yoki is related to both seals and dogs. In the wild, the yoki lives on riverbanks. It is an easy capture for the trapper, as gluttony is well documented. In winter, it gorges itself on orange salmon, a prey that often has to share in the wild with the fierce Siberian bear, another creature very partial to the fish. Once tamed, the yoki is an affectionate but whimsical animal. It resists all forms of disciplined training and, only if there are no dogs available, is it used to pull sleds. Certain Arctic peoples, however, seem to have better mastered the secret of their domestication, and the yoki is central to their daily activities. Of all the peoples who inhabit these god-forsaken regions, I find the yokis the most fascinating. Perhaps this is why I headed for those regions where I was most likely to encounter them. Yoki religious mass representing the soul messenger and guy who guides the dying to the other world. The yokis are fearful of him. The journey was long and dangerous. It wasn't until October 27th, 1947 that, for the first time, I made contact with the yokis. I have spent long months living among them. I have come to know them and to understand them for who they are. I soon abandoned any notion of confronting them. I applied myself instead to the study of their moves and customs. So little is known about the yokais. Less than is known of any inhabitant of the frozen north. They live far, far away in the farthermost tip of the Siberian tundra. Because of their remoteness and their inhospitable climate, the yokis have remained small in number, overlooked by the scientific community and the Soviet governmental machine. The only documents available before my departure were several drawings, notes, and photographs taken 100 years ago by a Russian explorer, Marie Bordunov. It is to her we owe what little is known of the Yokol people and its culture. The Yokols hark back to the last ice age. Curiously, traces of their presence have been found in Western Europe, more precisely in the heart of the French Alps, in the prehistoric caves of Vallée du Laine. This suggests that over centuries they undertook a long migration towards the extreme north of the globe. The second harfang. This bird is often inseparable from the Yokol shaman. It seems to be considered in turns as his friend representative and even his incarnation. Lemmings congregate on the open plains of Siberia. They feed on grains and small fruit, that they store in their holes to face the scarcity of the winter months ahead. Lemmings dig deep tunnels in the ice to escape their predators. The hunters they most fear are harfangs, who seem to find lemmings something of a delicacy. On several occasions during my journey, I encountered traces of yokels society far to the west of the areas we know today. Along the forest trails, I discovered small piles of carefully piled stones, altars on which yokels hunters made ritual offerings to one of their pagan gods. We now know the reasons for the yokels' long migration. Their domestic economy was, it seems, directly linked to the mammoths. They used the mammoths for both transport and as beasts of burden, for meat, skin, fat, and ivory. It is beyond doubt that we are dealing with a genuine case of symbiosis between man and animal. Mammoths were forced north by changing climate conditions, and the yokels followed. Some prehistoric cave drawings, identified as being of yokel origin, have led the scientific community to conjecture that at one point in time the yokels realized the incredible achievements of domesticating mammoths. They are, to our knowledge, the only prehistoric people to have represented a man astride a mammoth. Yokel life was thus intimately linked to that of their pachyderms. They used their hides for clothing and to build roofs, walls, and houses. They used their tusks to construct the framework of their dwellings and for weapons, tools, and jewelry. Curiously, the disappearance of the mammoth 12,000 years ago had no immediate impact on the yokels' way of life. It seems that they were able to retain the strong link that tied them to the mammoths throughout the millennia. As incredible as it might seem, yokels still feed on mammoth meat today and use mammoth hide for clothing and to roof their dwellings. Their craftsmanship of mammoth ivory is altogether remarkable. It appears that the yokels have managed to retain their ancestral habits by using, over the years, the many frozen mammoth bodies that are perfectly preserved in the frozen Siberian wastes. They are said to have lived off this enormous pantry for more than 30 centuries. To do this, they have hollowed out a vast network of caves in the frozen ground. According to the intrepid explorer, Marie Bodrinoff, yokel civilization has now gone underground. Specialists in the paleontology department of St. Petersburg have never credited yokel myths and legends. However, the legend of the Siberian ice ark is typical of such folklore. It has long been considered a fable told by shaman in the evening to ward off boredom of the long Siberian winter months. The legend tells that somewhere on a lost island to the north of the tundra, there still exists live mammoths, relics of the long-gone ice age, a tiny population that has been preserved for more than 12 centuries under yokel care. The island the pachyderms inhabit is called Syberia. To my notes, I add the tale of this legend as Marie Bodrinoff related it to her memoirs. It agrees on all points with statements from yokels I had the fortune to meet. Although this story constitutes no proof of the existence of the island of Siberia, it forms a tantalizing hypothesis. Scarlet bramble, Infernus rubus, bluegrass, Carulean herbal, fossilized plant life. When fall arrives, the odor of its flowers is so strong that it is known to awaken hibernating yokel. Scarlet bramble mixed with walrus blubber or tallow, this scarlet bramble is frequently used in yokel medicine. The fumes released by burning it have considerable healing properties. The shamans recount that the plant only grows on the tomb of one whose soul is at peace. Legend of Siberia. At the end of the last ice age, there were huge climatic changes. Much of the land was flooded by water. This sudden environmental variation put the existence of a number of animal species in danger, including the mammoths that inhabited the lands of the Siberian north at that time. The yokels are a particularly advanced people of the age, set about the construction of an enormous ark that, like that of Noah, with the objective of preserving the mammoths, objects of religious devotion, from extinction. The enormous craft was entirely constructed of mammoth tusks and was loaded with a small horde of beasts and huge quantities of fur. The fate of the ship was entrusted to several particularly courageous members of the yokel clan. Their mission was to lead the animals towards more welcoming climes. Once such lands were discovered, it was agreed that they would unload the animals and then come back to spread the tidings of their good fortune. It wasn't until 10 years later that the ark returned to its starting place. The yokels who had remained on the continent were surprised to find the ship empty, but for the perfectly preserved bodies of several mammoths in the ice that packed the bottom of the ship. They took this mysterious offering as a sign from the gods and ate the mammoths in a memorable feast. A week later, carried by ocean currents, the Ark set sail again. Once more, it returned 10 years later, with more frozen mammoths on board. The phenomenon continued for millennia. Every 10 years, the Ark would reappear, each time filled with immaculately preserved mammoths. The yokels interpreted the phenomenon as an act of benevolence on the part of the souls of the congeners who had died during the first Ark journey in some infernal maritime cataclysm. They made a religion of the Ark with its own rites and customs that was marked by the periodic appearance of the phantom ship and its precious cargo. For centuries, nothing seemed to affect the Ark's mysterious roundabout. One day, however, the Ark returned earlier than expected and empty. This was 100 years ago. The poor yokels fell into deep despair. Everything they had believed in and had been the foundation of their culture since the dawn of time lost meaning. The most valiant tried hard to maintain hope, especially because the Ark still continued its peregrinations into the unknown, borne away on the seasonal ocean tides. But one morning the Ark refused to set sail. Many yokels then left their village forever, trailing their despair across the tundra. Sometimes they can be encountered in the smoke-filled drinking holes of the last outpost of civilization. These poor, sodden souls drowned their befuddled minds in alcohol, recounting their unlikely mammoth tales to fellow alcoholics. When the explorer Brozhunov arrived among the yokels, she noted the presence of what was once a ship. Only the yokels could perceive the mythical craft of their legends beneath the layers of ice that had accumulated over the centuries. She put forward the hypothesis that the accumulated ice had eventually doubled the volume of the Ark and rendered it incapable of negotiating the dangers passed by floating ice in the Arctic flow. I, Alexei Tokanov, can confirm that the observations of this audacious adventure are true. The Ark that leads to the side of Siberia is indeed real, and even if I have not found the formal proof, I am convinced of this isle's existence and that the remnants of a mammoth population may still be there today. There's a lot to read. Yeah, only grew for those who died at peace. Huh?
What on earth is that? What on earth is that? What on earth is that?
Guess that's not what I think it is. Let's get to the part where it saves. Kate's so naughty, she just takes whatever's lying around.
What on earth is that?
Really? I don't use a brush on that? Oh, you gotta kidding me. Was that not oblique enough of a thing to use on that? I said, no, this thing has to be totally... The thing to use to solve that puzzle has to totally not make sense. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a puzzle. Thanks, Siberia. Okay, we need something here. How about this thing? Yeah. And, that? No. No, okay. I have no idea. down here saves. Ah, there we go. Let's take the safe game around here. This is Autopossery. You've been watching Syberia II on Nintendo Switch. Gotta figure out a couple more pieces of the puzzle here to move on. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.